Hello friends, welcome to my channel, Homeschool at Heart. My name is Leah, and I am going to be talking about motivation for getting it done today. Okay, so I titled this video, How I Do It All, and I hope that it's clear that that's being facetious, that I do not do all of it. But things do get done around here. So, I'm going to be talking about that today. And I hope it wasn't like super misleading, but here are my tips and tricks maybe for, getting things done without feeling like all you're doing is treading water and burning out. I have a reasonably clean house. I cook most of our dinners. I homeschool. I have hobbies. I have a YouTube channel. I read books. We spend time with family. The list goes on and on. I added this year, I make sourdough. I have joined that cult apparently. So the list goes on and on. There are so many things, extracurriculars, plays that we do, church things. It's a lot. And I'm sure that you guys have a similar list. The truth is that I have to keep coming back to is that I'm a human person. So first of all, you're a human person. I'm going to be super real in this video about what we can manage. You are not a superwoman. Like, honestly, let's just talk about the honest facts. We always want to talk about how we're superwomen. The honest truth of that is that you're a regular woman, right? Or man, if you're a guy watching this video. Thanks for watching, by the way. And you can only do what you can do in a 24-hour day. So I want you to feel like you don't have to do it all. I guess you could tread water for a time with all of the things. You could keep your house clean. You could make home-cooked dinners. You could cook sourdough bread. You could be in musicals and take your kids to all the dance classes their hearts desire, music classes, horseback riding classes, all of the classes. You could homeschool and bring wonder and delight to your children. You could read 100 books in a year. You could, all of those things. But you would burn out. You would just feel like you were treading water all the time. And when I get that way, I feel like I'm going to drown. So you shouldn't carry the burden of it all on yourself. And that's really what the message of this video should be. I am a type A perfectionist, and I have a hard time swallowing that pill. Honestly, I have such a hard time not being perfect at every single thing that I do. But I am also easily overwhelmed at this time of my life. So I came up with like a short list of what the things were that were important to me. I heard at a conference, and I can't remember the name of this person who spoke at this conference. It was for a company that I worked for in the past, and I tried to look it up and I could not find it. Anyway, you might recognize this speech, but she said that really you can only do 3 things really well. 3. But, as I think about it, it really does seem right to me. If you think about the list that I just shared with you. So that means whatever doesn't make my top 3 is not going to be done perfectly. And that's got to be okay. So because I know you're wondering, I'm going to tell you what my top 3 things are. Okay, so obviously this is a homeschool channel. So homeschooling my kids is my probably top. It's at least in the top 3. Homeschool is as much about relationship with my kids as it is about teaching them the things. So it is also a thing that at this point in time is really wound up in my identity as a person, as a mom, and it really does consume most of my time. So when I'm not teaching my kids, I am also like researching and preparing and doing all of those things. I am doing this YouTube channel that is causing me to grow so much as a homeschool mom. As I try to talk through what we do as a homeschool family and share about our homeschool journey here on YouTube. It is really helping me to grow as a homeschooler. I'm so fiercely protective of my time with my little people. So 2. So I don't know if these are actually in this order, but anyway, number 2, one of the top 3 things is spending time with the people that we love. In the last 4 or 5 years, we have lost several people that were important to us in our family. I'm choking up as I'm talking about this because I literally am off to a funeral service tomorrow to go pay our respects or show our love and gratitude for the time that we had with my uncle, who was sort of like my grandfather. Anyway, I'm determined to soak up all of the precious time that we have with the people who are closest to us. And that includes family and super close friends. So that is all that I feel like I can emotionally say about that. But that is one of my top 3. So I'm sure you've noticed by now that I have not mentioned my husband. He is definitely not my last priority. We're a team, and so he is a big part of the other 2 things that I chose to mention. This last thing is a part of our partnership. So I hesitate to say this way because it makes me sound like a 1950s housewife, but it really is important to him that we have home cooked meals, not necessarily like super healthy or super fancy meals, just meals at home. He is a very thrifty person. He kind of balances me out that way. I'm not the most thrifty of people, but he really likes to have dinner at home because it saves us so much money as a family of 5 rather than going out and eating a lot, which we did at one time, probably when the kids were littler, and it felt like the minutes just went by so fast. So now I kind of make sure that we have that kind of built into my life. I know what time I need to get that started to get everything ready. Anyway, and then we all sit down as a family, and that's really important to the 2 of us that we get to do that at least 4 or 5 times a week. So it doesn't happen always. Sometimes those things are stressful and inconvenient, but it feels honoring to my husband for me to do those things, and so I make sure that that's a priority. So I want to know, what are your top 3 things? Let me know in the comments. They don't have to be big things. They just have to be the things that you want to make sure you do the best. What about the other things though? Let's talk about for a minute some other ways you can check off things off of that giant list and feel like you're doing a reasonable job of the list. One of the things you can do is, and this is really hard for me, but delegate. I'm not a group project person. I hate group projects. I was that person in college that, not in high school, I was homeschooled in high school, so I didn't have people to do group projects with, but in college, I was not the person who liked doing just a little bit of a project and then letting other people like do the other parts. I always felt like I had to do the whole thing myself. So, maybe it's because I was homeschooled. Maybe it's because I'm a control freak. Who knows? Probably because I'm a control freak. But delegating. So one way that I delegate is that I give my kids chores. They don't do just like put your plate away and keep your room reasonably clean. They do a lot of chores, especially my big two. My littlest one, she's only 7, and my big kids do complain that she doesn't have to do as many things as they do, but I do remind them that when they were 7, they did not have to do all of these things. So she's going to be 8 soon. She will have more things that she will have to do. But my big kids do their own laundry. I do have to remind them. So this is not a like immediate fix. It is a thing you will have to train your children to do. They also do all of the sweeping, mopping, vacuuming. They empty the dishwasher. Each of the kids has like a section of the dishwasher that they have to empty. So Beth does like the top with like cups and glasses and bowls that are glass. Ellie does the bottom rack that has more of the like their kid plates and things that are less likely to break. Also, she's shorter than Beth, so Beth can reach the top cabinets better. And then Charlotte does the silverware. What other chores do they have? They have a good 5 or 6 things that they have to do every single day. Charlotte, I know, does like water the plants outside. She makes sure that there's no laundry in the bathrooms. Oh, my big kids wipe out the sinks in the bathrooms every single day. And then, like I feel free to tell them, hey guys, there's stuff on the floor. Can you please pick it up? It's not like they don't have to also do those things. Those are just like living in a family things. And we don't pay them for their chores. They just have to do them. So maybe that makes me mean and unreasonable, but it also keeps our family afloat. So I do have to go through, I don't make them do chores on the weekends. They have the weekends off. They do those chores Monday through Friday. And then I usually choose a chore per child to like go back on Saturday and just re-instruct them on how to do it. Like we have been doing this since the time that we don't talk about a couple of years ago. If I say the word, it will censor me on YouTube, so I won't. But we've been working on these things for a couple of years now, and I'm still, even with a 10 and 11-year-old, having to go back and retrain them on how to do things. But for the most part, they do a really good job. And it keeps me from having to push the vacuum around every single day. So I clean the kitchen for the most part, with the exception of the floor and the dishwasher. I do the dishes. We clean out the dishwasher in the morning every day so that there's not that many dishes. They put their dishes away throughout the day. And then I run it at night so that they have that ready to go in the morning for them to clear out. I also do clean the most dirty parts of the bathroom. So like the shower, the tub, the toilet, the bathroom floor, those parts of the bathroom, I do that. I don't make them do that. So, and I do the dusting because there's a lot of higher things that I don't feel like they could reach, or they might knock things over and things would break and then they'd feel bad. So, and then on the weekend, Tim does a really thorough vacuuming job through the whole house. I have a bad back, so vacuuming is not a thing that I do unless it's like a really extreme reason why I feel like I have to do the vacuuming. Okay, so moving on. Multitask. I know that people talk about multitasking like it's not a thing, but I disagree. I think that putting all of your focus on something is obviously going to get it done better. But we're not necessarily trying to get everything done super well, remember? So, done is better than perfect. In most cases. I mean, obviously in some cases that's not true, but in most cases, done is better than perfect. So, I love to read. So, what I like to do, if it's not a book, like I have mentioned this in my, I'll link it above. Actually it'll be on this side, but, I like to read a lot. And I like all kinds of books. So I do read a lot of like Christian living or like homeschool books. Those books I like to actually read the physical book so I can write in it. But if it's like a novel or something, I will listen to it. So I have Audible. I also have Libby, the library app. That is invaluable, by the way. So what I will do with the Libby app is I will go through and I'll look for any book on audio that I might possibly want to read, and I will just put tons of holds, as many as it'll let me. And then those will come available at different times, and I'll listen to it when it comes up. And then if I am not ready for it, then you can just tell it to redeliver it to you in 7 days. So you just have to have a library card, and it will let you borrow those books. That way you don't have to spend all the money on Audible, because I have an Audible subscription. I do use it if it's a book that I want to read again or listen to again, or if it's like in an extreme fatigue situation, I will get a book that I'm trying to also physically read, and then I will listen to it while I'm looking at the words, and it helps me to retain some of it. So but I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm doing mundane tasks like dishes or sourdough. While I'm baking all the sourdough, doing all the like stretching and folding and things like that, where I don't have to be looking at a recipe. Or if I'm like wiping down the bathroom, or I don't know, a whole myriad of things. There's always, laundry, folding laundry, guys, folding the laundry. Some other things are just like that I multitask with. I like to sew, so I bring in some of my hobbies into our homeschool day. Things like that. None of these things are getting my full and complete attention, and so they're not getting done super well, but they are getting done. Okay, so another thing that I do is that I try to plan ahead as much as I possibly can. So for instance, what that looks like for our family is when I am trying to make sure that I am cooking every day, eating at home every day, I make a meal plan at least a week in advance. And then I will add all of the ingredients. I'll go through our cupboards, look and make sure that we have everything that we need for those meals. If we don't, then I add it to our grocery list. And then here's where the teamwork comes in. My husband goes and does all of the grocery shopping. I hate going to the grocery store. That is like one of my things that I do not like to do. I imagine he doesn't like to do it either, but he does because he loves me. And also, again, he's the frugal one. He's willing to go look for the best deals. He goes to a whole bunch of stores, does the whole thing. I wouldn't not do that. I would go to one store and get everything from the same store. Anyway, he goes and does all of the grocery shopping, and then I put everything away so that I know where it all is, and make sure that I can make the meals that I had planned for the week. Also, another way to save yourself some time is if you're making something that is freezable, and if you guys want to see a video on freezer cooking, let me know in the comments, because I'm totally willing to make one. I am a freezer cooking, I love freezer cooking. Let's just say that. I love freezer cooking. So what that means is just like taking things that I would normally, that are like kind of high maintenance recipes, and making more than one of those things, so that then you can put it in a freezer container, freeze it, and then when you want to have that meal again, you pull it out of the freezer. It's already done. You don't have to cook it again. So you just have to heat it up. And I'm not a leftovers person. So this turns out okay. In that you're not like finishing the cooking. Anyway, there's a whole science to it. If you guys want to see it, I will definitely make a video like that. So also, like, can I go back to delegating for a second? I just want to say, most of us, I know that not everybody, but most of us have somebody in our lives that cares about our mental health and like the way that we feel about the things in our lives. And I am preaching to myself here. I am not good at this. You can let somebody in. You can let somebody see the mess in your life. You can let people see that you're not perfect. And it's okay. In fact, it's probably good for you. And that's something that I'm going to try to work on in the next few months, is like really just not forcing myself to be not forcing myself towards perfection. I really want to be authentic. I want to be a real person and I don't want to be a crazy one. So, I'm trying to kind of like embrace my flaws, and I mean, not like cherish my flaws, not feel like, oh, good, I'm not a perfect person, or not working towards being better, but just saying there's room in my life for change. And that's what my relationship with God is for me to say, God, I can't do this all by myself. I need you to help me. So one way that he has done that is he has put people like my mother in my life, or my good friends in my life. And those are people who would gladly take my kids if I needed to have a day to clean, or my mom is totally willing to come over here and help me homeschool if I needed that. And I don't know. I feel like I don't want to let people know that I need help sometimes, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm gonna close this off, but I hope that somewhere in all of my ramblings today that there is a kernel of truth that you can hold on to, something that maybe like sparks an idea in your own mind, and will help you in some way. I would love to know if that's true. So, anyway, I really appreciate all of you for watching my channel, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye. Okay, guys. So, funny story time. I feel like I have not, like, life has been a whirlwind in the last week. It's been crazy, and the month of January is going to just be insane. So this was the only thing I could think of, and I talked to my kids about it, and my kids were cracking up about this. But so you guys know we do it's right here actually, because my house is not clean right now. You are only seeing what I'm showing you. This beautiful wall behind me. We're doing the Brighter Day Press All Creation Sings devotional right now for our morning time, or during our morning time. And there have been not just the Days of Creation verses. It's been really cool. It's a really cool book, you guys. I highly recommend. I'll link my Brighter Day Press affiliate code or link below. So we're going through and I'm like reading verses in here, and they're from the Gospels, so Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. And I am like, this is like 3 days in a row, you guys. I am not kidding. I have no brain cells left after Christmas. None. And the kids are like, why does that match up with that? So anyway, I apparently, so let me give you a for instance here. I may have to put my glasses on because I'm blind. But the light was like shining right in my glasses, and it makes me crazy when I'm editing and I'm like seeing the ring in my glasses. Anyway, so like read Genesis 1 through 5 and John 8:12. Well, brain cell less person than I am, I'm like reading a different gospel. I like looked up Matthew 8:12. I don't remember which one I did. Anyway, so it was supposed to be about light and dark, and it was about people who couldn't see the truth or something like that. Anyway, it like, this was the funny thing. I did this 3 days in a row. Every single time it like vaguely fit into the lesson, and I was like trying to explain it, and then I would get to this portion of the devotional, and they would say like, in John 1 we see the Word, and in John we see that Jesus is called the Word, and in John 8:12, and I was like, John 8:12, not Matthew. In John 8:12, Jesus says of himself, I am the light of the world. And I'm like, of course that's the verse that she is saying, and not this other random one that I'm talking about, trying to make it fit within this context. Anyway, 3 days in a row, you guys. I need more sleep. That is really what it boils down to. Anyway, I'm sure somebody can relate. Anyway, this was the lesson that I taught to my kids, is that they have an imperfect mother. And they were very, very understanding. Although my 10-year-old, who always has to say the worst possible thing, she doesn't always mean the worst possible thing, but the worst possible thing always comes out of her mouth. She was less than encouraging. Anyway. So there's my story for you. Imperfect as I am. Thank you guys for watching my channel and watching my videos all the way to the end. You are a joy to my heart. I will talk to you soon. Bye.